Apple is getting ready to update its smallest computer again. The 2026 Mac Mini is already making headlines. Many people call it a tiny powerhouse. On the surface, it sounds like a major internal upgrade. However, when we look closely at the leaks, the reality is a bit different. The story feels much more conservative than the marketing might suggest. Yes, the new M5 and M5 Pro chips are coming. Yes, performance will get better. But this update seems to be about small gains. It is not a bold rethinking of what the Mac Mini can be. It is an incremental step forward. Let's talk about the heart of the machine. Early information points to the CPU performance. The M5 is expected to have a 10 to 15% uplift over the M4. On paper, this sounds fine. In reality, it is hardly exciting for a full generational jump. Most users might not even notice the difference in daily tasks. Apple knows this. That is why they will likely focus on the graphics. They will lean hard on the headline GPU numbers. They might claim the graphics are up to 45% faster. But there is a catch. The GPU core count remains the same. It is still a 10-core GPU. This means the speed comes from architectural tweaks. It comes from AI-focused enhancements. It does not come from raw hardware expansion. It is clever engineering, but not a massive hardware leap. Then we have the M5 Pro variant. This version always sounds more impressive. But even here, Apple is playing it safe. We expect two versions of this chip. One will be a binned 14-core CPU. The other will be a full 16-core configuration. The binned model will likely have 4 efficiency cores and 10 performance cores. The full version could push to 12 performance cores. It would still have the same 4 efficiency cores. This provides more power for professionals. But again, it follows the exact pattern we have seen before. There are no big surprises in the architecture. It is exactly what we expected from the Pro line. Now, let's look at the memory and storage. These are always hot topics for Apple fans. Memory options are expected to start at 24 GB. They might top out at 48 or 64 GB. Storage will likely range from 512 GB to 4 TB. None of this is surprising. More importantly, none of this fixes the old problems. People have complained about Apple's storage pricing for years. It is very expensive to upgrade your space. It seems Apple is not changing its mind on this. They are sticking to their high profit margins. To understand the 2026 model, we must look back. At the end of 2024, Apple finally changed the Mac Mini. They redesigned it after nearly 15 years. The old design was stagnant. The new design was a breath of fresh air. But the real win was the value. The M4 Mac Mini was a great deal. It shipped with a full M4 chip. It had a 10-core CPU and a 10-core GPU. Apple even started it with 16 GB of memory as standard. This felt very generous for Apple. It made the M4 Mac Mini a favorite for many people. It set a high bar for the next version. The 2026 Mac Mini is expected to look exactly the same as the M4 version. Apple just finished the redesign. They will not change the outside so soon. This means the physical look stays the same. It also means the small problems stay. Many users complain about the power button. It is mounted on the rear in an awkward spot. You have to reach around the back to turn it on. It seems Apple is keeping this design choice. Even if people don't like it, it is staying for the M5. The memory for the standard M5 model is also staying the same. It will likely stay stuck at 16, 24, and 32 GB. This feels a bit slow for the year 2026. However, there is one small hope for storage. The base level might finally move to 512 GB. But the leaks say this is still a maybe. The fact that this is not certain says a lot. It shows Apple's priorities. They want to keep the entry-level price low. They also want you to pay more for upgrades. This is the classic Apple strategy. When can we expect to see it? According to current leaks, the timing is clear. Apple plans to announce the M5 Mac Mini at WWDC 2026. This event usually happens in the first week of June. You should be able to buy it by mid-June. This follows their usual summer release schedule. It gives developers and students a new tool for the second half of the year. Finally, let's talk about the price. Pricing is expected to stay the same. The base M5 model should start at $599. The M5 Pro version will likely start at roughly $1,399. This consistency is good for buyers. You know what to expect. But it also confirms that the M5 is a refinement. It is not a revolution. It is Apple making a good product slightly better. It is a tiny powerhouse, but it is a predictable one. It is built for those who need an upgrade, but it might not tempt people who already own an M4. It is a steady evolution in a small box.